So I'm going to get a little introductory walk-around video of the new Project MR2. Hashtag RXAW11. We can go down the list here and point at things while we do. So the rear suspension. It says coilover perches, weld-on perches, bellows, sway bar. This is going to be the same for the front suspension in the future, but for now I'm just going to do the rears. I am welding on some perches. I'm going to cut off the stock perches. We can kind of look at these. These are from my FX16. So we'll be cutting off the stock perch, welding on a very tiny collar, I guess you would call it, way down low, then putting a coilover perch on, and we're going to try to run some circle track springs. Really tall, really low-rated springs. So I've got some 100s, 100-pound springs. Actually, I think these are 175 and 150. The 100 that's 10 inches. Those are 10-inch tall springs. These are 12-inch tall springs or 14. I think maybe these are 12 and these are 14. Either way, I got springs for cheap. So I'm going to try to do that with the stock struts that are underneath it. Maybe it won't work. And if it doesn't, then, I'll pick some other spring to put under it. I'll make sure the perches are tall enough to where I can dial them way up if I need to. Way back up. Oh, now I've lost the list. Where did I put it? Help me understand. There it is. Just chucked it, I guess. Okay, and then the bellows, they're coming soon. Just to make sure we don't get any dust on the strut. What do you call it? The part of the strut, what goes, that silver part right over there, that thing. Whatever we call that. Rod? Stanchion? I don't know. And then the sway bar is disconnected in the rear, so I want to reconnect the sway bar. And then on the front suspension, I just want to do a nut and bolt check for now. I may come back if I feel like I have time and do the coil purchase. It's all about what has to be parked in this garage space, honestly. So I don't want to have the whole suspension torn apart for a long time. But I'll probably end up doing the coilover stuff for the fronts as well. If the rear goes as planned with the 10-inch springs, it'll be awesome. 10 or 12-inch or whatever they are. Okay, now on to the body. There's holes. That's a hole. That's a hole. I mean, this is a whole bunch of holes, honestly. And there's a hole over here. And we're not going to do this the right way. We're going to, it says right there, we're going to use wire brush and some rust preventative paint and then expanding foam. This is, I've seen this trick used on a couple of YouTubers' channels just to fill holes in floors and whatnot. And it seems to come out pretty solid. So I think we'll do that down here. And we just want to play around with it and see how it comes out. So me and the boys will attempt to do that. Fill it in, sand it down real nice, and then maybe put some filler or some high build primer on it, sand it down, and just basically we're just trying to keep it from having holes and gaps in there that lets dust come up into the trunk area, and because we want to put some filterage and stuff in there, and plus we're breathing air, right through this guy right here. Supposed to be anyway. I still haven't actually checked to make sure that makes it all the way back. Next on the list is the door glass. Something's up. Don't know what. It's off the track. It's wackadoo. It has to either stay inside or have a cover over it because it'll get wet otherwise, hence the towel in there. So we got to fix that and make sure that it's at least closed. I don't care if it never opens again. I'd love to have manual cranks for it, but if I can't get it, I can't get it. That's okay. And then the last thing on this side of the list is the windshield, because obviously she's a bit mashed and smashed. So hopefully I can find one. I think I can still find one, and then I can find somebody to put it in, because it's going to take someone who does vintage things. Okay. Now back to the back. I mean, we can't really look at them, but the motor mounts are basically shot back here. So we're going to fill those with polyurethane and make them better, make them not awful. Need to do an oil change on it, possibly run a little bit of thicker oil. I noticed the pressure was kind of down a little bit, so might want to run something a little bit beefier. And then got to look at this exhaust, because Ryan made it, and it's made out of, I think, like AMG Mercedes parts, which is pretty cool, and it sounds pretty neat. Had a turbo whistle on it at one point, but only this side works, and I don't understand why. He said it's baffled, so you can open it up. I don't really know. I just need to figure out what's going on down there. And then the intake situation. I'm not sure I'm going to solve that right away, but what I'd like to do, if you know of MR2s, the intake sits here. Tube comes in here to an air box that sits over in this corner. I have a paper filter in that now. Then there's a hose that runs all along the backside here, goes all the way over here and all the way to this intake over here. And I think the best thing for Rallycross would be to put a hole in the trunk, tie into that tube from right down in here, bring a snorkel up that, you know, also can be removed to allow the hood to open, but then try to breathe air in from up here. I have an idea about breathing air in from just underneath this cool visor thing, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be better or worse or whatever, but it, you know, maybe it blocks some dust. I don't really know, but anyway, that's just a possibility. That's a maybe. I don't know if I really care enough. I'd just probably run paper filters and make sure that it sucks in clean air. The interior, first couple of steps for that are out here in the FX, because we have the Corbeau racing seat, the FX, Corbeau FX seat in the FX, and then the Sparco wheel, and I'd like to put both of those over into the MR2, along with a shift knob. I'm not really sure which one yet. I have several to choose from, but the one that is in the car, I believe it's from an Audi. I don't really know, but I don't like it. I know that. I'd like it to be a bit taller and not look so much like an Audi. Then I want to get a harness bar and harnesses, because it seems like it'd be pretty easy to do in this car. Door cards. There isn't one over there. There is one over here. Techno Toy Tuning sells really nice metal door cards to just have a nice clean look to it, and I like that. Manual cranks, if I can get them, instead of the power units for the windows, and actually, you know, make that one work. That would be awesome. The light switch. The headlight switch is, well, I mean, it's there, but it's doing stuff. So that would be nice. And then the speedometer doesn't work, so that's a thing too. And then the parking brake would be really good to make that work. You know, I don't know if I might have to yank that at some point, you know, for sweet J-turns or whatever. And then just check on the brakes, make sure they don't need to be bled or whatever. I think they're probably pretty good, but they feel good. The pedal feels good. It's just, you know, checking stuff, right? Checking it off the list. So that's what we got. That's what we're working with, and we'll start working on it very soon. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow.